So I've seen a lot of hype surrounding these new headphones, the Atlas Air by Turtle Beach. But is what everyone's saying about them true? And what makes them awesome for flight simmers? Turtle Beach did send these through for testing and review, but the same goes as always, I will not beat around the bush with my own thoughts. So there's two reasons why I think these could be the ultimate flight simulation headset. There's also a couple of things that I'll go through that could be a deal breaker depending on how you want to use them based on some of the features. So the first reason these might be the ultimate sim headset, and no, it's not audio quality, it's comfort. These could be, in fact, I think they are the most comfortable headset I've ever put in my head. Truly an absolute masterpiece in comfort. And there's a few reasons for that. The first one is the weight. At only 300 grams, these are crazy light for a full headset. Comparable to, but still lighter than, the Razer Black Shark V2 Pros. The next biggest contributor is what they call this floating ear cup design. But you see the way the ear cup is suspended by those rubber bungee type connections. This is allowing it to conform to the shape of my head without any actual real adjustment. It's such a cool design feature. Then we have the soft memory foam ear cups. These ear cups are plush with a silky kind of material that feel almost kind of like cool around my ears. They're so soft that it could actually play into the longevity. As the softer, more comfortable these materials get, often that comes with becoming susceptible to wear. That's something for a longer term review though. As far as size of the ear cups go, they have an outer diameter of 100 millimeters, an inner diameter, meaning this is where your ears go, of 55 millimeters, and a thickness of about 22 millimeters. Often I get a bit of a pressure build up with the legs of my glasses with over-ear headphones like this, but with the Atlas Air I had no discomfort of any kind. To finish it off, you've got this soft and easy to adjust headband. All you have to do is pull this bit off here and tighten or loosen it to fit, and it does come with some guide markers in here. I don't know if you can see them, I'll put some close-ups in the video, but there's some guide markers in there to help you line it up. It's pretty easy to adjust, and again, I think it's another contributor to the comfort, but there is a downside to it, and I'll cover that in the build quality section. The headset on the whole is just well designed to conform to what I would say almost any head shape. As soon as you put these on, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If anybody already owns a pair of these, leave a comment on what you think about the comfort. So yes, these are the true comfort kings. And headphones like this for a simulator just make the longer hours in the sim like that much better. The next thing that really separates these from any other headsets is the open back design. So what is open back? Well, open back headphones, they let the ambient room sounds in, and they're more transparent and natural, allowing you to hear you could say a wider range of details in the audio. Where I noticed the difference was, this is kind of hard to explain, but you know that kind of closed off boomy bass feeling, you're unaware of your surroundings. It's almost like wearing noise reduction headphones, that pressure you can sometimes feel in your ears. Well, not with open backs. With open backs, you get the feeling of, I'm gonna say, freedom and audio comfort. And what sets these apart is that they're the only wireless open backs available. Open back headphones are traditionally for audio reproduction, studios, or high-end music lovers in general because of the much more natural sound that they give off. Because of this, generally these open back styled headphones are wired. Now, being that they let in external sounds, they can do something pretty cool in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We can send the ATC and comms to the headset and leave the ambient sound to a set of external speakers. If you've never tried this, give it a go. The audio separation you feel, I think, adds another layer of pretty cool immersion, especially when using the likes of VATSIM or SayIntentions.ai. As far as audio quality goes, honestly, I don't have enough expertise in that area to comment too much on that. All I can say is that I prefer using them over my absolute previous favourite, the Black Shark V2 Pros, the 2023 edition. I think they have good separation and sound as good as anything I've ever tried, but a lot of it goes back, or comes back, to the comfort and the audio comfort and that natural sound of an open back design. That's not to say these are for everyone though. If you like your noise cancellation headphones, these just simply are not for you. At this point we have to talk about the mic, and I'll just deliver this section with the headset on. Now the audio you're listening to is now through this headset. Can it beat out the #1 headset for audio quality, the Razer Black Shark V2? And straight up, I'm going to say that it can't, but does that actually matter? I don't think so, not for most people. It's still a decent sounding mic. Unless you're a streamer or you need that higher bandwidth mic for content, I reckon it's just fine. The only time I'll ever resort to using the Razer Black Shark again is if I have to record some type of audio for content. One thing's for sure though, I really love this flip up design. When it's down, it's hot, and when it's up, it's cold. There's no guessing whether it's on or off, no fumbling around. And when it's up, it's fully out of my peripheral vision. So they just feel like a set of standard headphones. Now you can do a lot with the profiles on the Swarm 2 software app, which kind of changes the way the microphone can sound, and there's a fair amount of control over that, but we will cover that in the software section. Now let's run through the other basic features and the build quality. So 50 hours of battery life. I think that's about right based on how much I've used it right now. I don't know how accurate that is though. It does fall short in terms of the longest lasting headsets out there, but 50 hours is still a fair chunk of time. It has a Bluetooth mode. It's super handy if you want to connect your mobile or you want to connect it to another PC. All you have to do to put it into Bluetooth mode is press this little button on the bottom, then click the pairing button. You'll see it pop up and it's paired. It's easy, it's quick and simple, and almost instant switching between them. It has a 3.5mm jack on the bottom if you do run out of battery. You know, you're covered in that sense, and not all newer headsets have this. So, you know, it's handy. Volume control is on the left ear cup. It's this big knob on the side. The control itself, the placement and the size, the sheer convenience, it's superb. But the actual volume adjustment, well, it's just not that smooth. Even with that though, I appreciate the massive volume knob. When it comes to EQ and presets, your settings also get loaded to the actual headphones, meaning that that's one less app you need to be running in the background. That's if you do indeed want to adjust the mic or the sound via the Swarm 2 software. If you don't want to adjust anything, you don't even need to download it. That takes me into the software. I've just jumped into the Swarm software. You can see here the Atlas Air just turns up on the front page. You can see here we've got the audio master volume, which is, I've just left at 100%. I'm not going to touch the superhuman hearing stuff or chat boost or anything like that. I think that's more for your kind of FPS gameplay. But what I am interested in is the microphone. So I've got the microphone sensitivity sitting at 100% at the moment. You can also set that for monitoring, which I don't have at the moment. And you've got a noise gate, which is pretty cool now. This essentially will start at lower frequencies or lower volume levels and start to cut out those noises. Now, I'm going to keep chatting here and I'm going to run the noise gate up and I'm going to keep going until we're at 25% here. I don't know what it's sounding like, but it's likely cutting a little bit of what I'm saying out. That's now up at 52. I'm pretty confident that's going to sound really bad. Now, the noise gate is useful. I'll bring it back down. The noise gate is useful, but I wouldn't be running it over 10%, which is what it's sitting at right now. And I typically will run it around 5 just to avoid anything getting cut off, because I'm quite softly spoken. If you're much louder spoken, then you can run this higher. We scroll down here onto the profiles for the game audio. There's a few different settings here. You get the Turtle Beach signature sound, bass boost, treble bass boost, and the vocal boost. But then you can switch it to the mic. There's 4 different profiles: signature sound, full, clarity, and smooth. So I'm just going to read a little paragraph here for each one and let you hear what it actually sounds like. Testing the headphone mic. This one is the signature sound. Testing the headphone mic. This one is the full sound. Testing the headphone mic. This one is the clarity sound. Testing the headphone mic. This one is the smooth sound. So now we're back on signature sound. You know, I'll give you a good idea of what those profiles sound like. And you do also have individual controls over the frequencies, which you can set on your own, but I'm not going to touch any of that stuff. One of the other cool things is the profiles. You can set up to 5 different profiles that will load dependent on which application you use. I'm not going to do anything like that. All I really want is a decent sounding mic, and we just leave it at that, but it might be useful for some people. And then down towards the bottom, you get the standard things like the device status, shows you your battery indicator, shows you how it's connected. The voice and tone prompts, I actually turned this down, they were quite loud. And something I really like is the auto shut off, so it gives you control over when the headset will shut down. I've got that set at 30 minutes, which is the maximum. So you can have 5, 10, 20, or 30. Something I've already pointed out, but I think I'll say it again because it's quite a neat feature, that any adjustments you make to the headset are going to be loaded direct to the headset, meaning you don't need to run the Swarm 2 software in the background. And that's a quick overview or rundown of the Swarm 2 Turtle Beach software. Now for the build quality. Keep in mind this headset is just 300 grams. Overall, I'd say the build quality is fair. The headband bends with no creaking or noise, you know, and there's a fair amount of movement there. The Earcups, while ultra comfortable, I do wonder how long they are going to last. And also that netting across the top of the headband. It could easily get caught in something and get damaged. As for the rest of it, the way the buttons feel, the attention to detail, how the mic feels to flip up and down, you know, it's all very Turtle Beach, meaning there's absolutely nothing to complain about. The only thing that I could knock it for is a slightly cheap feeling volume knob, you know, just the actual rotation of the knob. That's a little harsh, but then again, this is a $180 headset. And that brings me on to the price. At $180, are these overpriced? Are they great value, or did they lie somewhere in between? I say it differs based on the experience you're looking for. If you're after supreme comfort, like if comfort is the only worry in a headset for you, then I think these are an absolute bargain, hands down an absolute bargain. And I've come to realize, regardless how any headset sounds, if it's not comfortable, I ain't gonna wear it. If your needs are more quality weighted, you're looking for a balance of comfort, design, sound, and mic quality, I'd say that these are still well priced, and the experience I've had, there's still lots of value there. But again, remember, these are open back and have no noise cancelling whatsoever. If that's what you need or want, then you need to look at something else. Okay, the pros and the cons, and then final thoughts. And we'll start with the pros as usual. These are super light. They're the most comfortable headset I've ever worn by a mile. Decent or good battery life, easy to connect and switch modes. You got that open back design, which offers a much more natural feel and sound. The flip-up mic is a great design, great for people that wear glasses, and good all round for the price. Now for the cons. The volume knob is a little bit underwhelming, although the design and the size and the function is really good. There's potential for wear and tear on the Earcups and the headband. Now this kind of gets, you could say, offsetted by the comfort offered. It's a bit of a catch-22, but as I said earlier, we kind of have to leave that for a longer term review. Also, I'm going to mention that if you use an Xbox, then you need to connect via the 3.5mm jack. Xbox is not supported for wireless. Final thoughts, can I recommend this headset? I absolutely recommend it for most people. And here's why. I think comfort is by far the biggest thing I look for in a headset. And the Atlas Air has it in bucket loads. Comfort in terms of wearing and also hearing the audio. I get much less audio and ear fatigue with these over long periods of time. The mic is above average in terms of the landscape of mics that I've used, and with the amount of time that some of us actually spend in the sim, you know, it can take those low, drony, boomy engine and air sounds and make them way more natural sounding. The only time I'd say this headset isn't for you is if you're looking for any type of sound isolation or noise cancelling, or the best mic quality. But as a whole package, this headset is great value, and my bet is once you put a set of these on your head, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about.